One of the biggest myths out there is that real estate is all about location, location, location. Right, sure, absolutely. I'm here for it. This is true. However, having a great location is very important. It will draw in the right guests, the right people to rent out your property. However, what draws in the revenue is hitting the right mix of location as well as property features. Okay, so if you are not looking at the property features, my dear friends, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. So think about it like this. In one survey, 65% of guests chose properties based on its amenities, and 78% of Airbnb guests, those bookings came from listings with higher quality photos, higher quality amenities. Okay, so that's why today we're diving into my PAC-Q methodology, that is proximity, amenities, comparables, quality. We are going beyond the basic location metrics and showing you how this framework could help you pinpoint a property that's not just in a right location, but one that is well positioned to pull in top dollars. Okay, because let's be honest, location is what gets them there. However, quality and amenities, though, is what gets them to stay and to pay, my friends. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to another Luxury Rental Doctor show. I am Dr. Rachel Gainsborough, your go-to professional when it comes to real estate investing. I operate out of Georgia, Florida, Arizona, Tennessee, Texas, and Pennsylvania. You might have seen one of our luxury midterm rental properties featured on Netflix, or you may have seen me grace the TEDx stage recently. But what really drives me, what really lights me up is sharing this valuable information with our community, especially hardworking individuals, my hardworking women in the community who are just juggling it all, fighting for their lives, working these moonlight shifts. We have unique roles as women in medicine, right? We have a lot going on. And so a lot of you are realizing, you know what, there's gotta be a better way out. So welcome back, my dear friends. So today is part 2 of a 3-part series where I'm sharing with you exactly how just 2 well-chosen properties, yes, I said 2, not 20 doors, not 200 doors, 2 well-positioned properties can make a huge impact on your financial future. Now, here's why we're focused on quality over quantity. Here's why we're focused on value over volume, okay? I truly believe that a well-positioned, thoughtfully designed property could completely blow your competition out of the water. So you don't need dozens and dozens of lackluster, underperforming properties. In our last session, we got into some basics of market research using one of my favorite go-to tools called AirDNA to spot our rental revenue potential. But the real question is this. The real question is, why does one property pull in $100,000 a year while a similar property a few doors down is only pulling in $50,000 a year? That's where PAC-Q comes in. My 4 easy metrics that will set you up for the ability to demand top dollar for your properties: proximity, amenities, competitive edge, and quality. So I'll be breaking down each of these for you and show you exactly how to create a property that just completely blows your competition out of the water. Let's first dive into P. I even wrote it down here for you. P, proximity. P in PAC-Q is all about proximity. So proximity, it's all about how close you are to the things that draw people into that particular market. So for instance, if we're in a beach market, well, proximity to the water, to the ocean, right, is going to be the revenue driver. It's going to be the one thing that demands the most dollars. If proximity is within a mountain market, right, it's going to be, if it's a ski mountain, well, how close are you to the ski lifts, right? So that's proximity. That's what we're looking at in terms of proximity. If we're looking at a suburban market, for instance, proximity, what's going to draw in the top dollars? Well, it's proximity to the good schools. We host families in our homes in the suburban markets, families who are displaced from their homes due to disasters, say a water pipe burst, say there's a hurricane like Hurricane Helene or Hurricane Milton, right? So the proximity of the properties that draw in the top dollars are the properties that are closest to the top tier schools because those property values are the highest. So think of it that way. When we talk about proximity, what is the draw? What is drawing people into that particular market, into that particular neighborhood? That really matters, okay? So let's think proximity, understand exactly the type of market that you're in, and you can identify, well, what is the draw? What is getting folks to visit that market, and how close are you to those great landmarks? How close are you to those great schools? How close are you to the shopping? What are the things? Are you in an amusement park market, right? Disney, how close are you to Disney? I'm gonna say it anyway, although it goes without saying. If you are in a market that is specific for an amusement park like Disney, well, you wouldn't care about proximity to, the beach, so to speak, right? So just keep that in mind. So proximity varies based on market. So again, P, this is how we are demanding top dollar for our properties. When we're looking for a property to invest in, we want to see how close is it to the things? How close is it to the amazing attributes that are within that community? Okay, so that's very important. Remember, we have vacation markets, we have like lake markets, mountain markets, amusement park markets, and then we have suburban markets. We even have urban markets. So very important. Okay, so Dr. Nadi inside of our community, she found a beachfront property that she wanted to target small families who are coming to the area to vacation. And this property is a 3-minute walk to the beach. It had views of the ocean from some of the main areas. It was close by. The guests had access to all of the essential vacation amenities like the seafood restaurants, access to the marina. There were beach equipment rentals. And so, because she was in that prime location, guys, she was able to demand more dollars than those who were maybe tier 4 and tier 5, like further and further and further back. So, that is what was the draw. The properties that were closer to the front of the tiers, right, could demand more revenue than the properties that were further back. We still need to run the numbers. We got to make sure that these numbers are within our budget. We want to make sure that we're making it make sense. But nevertheless, I want you to understand, truly understand the importance of proximity. So this condo property, she is a gastroenterologist, and we also had Sophia, an attorney. They both bought condos in the Gulf Shores market. They continue to outperform other properties because they were the most occupied, and they were able to demand a bit of a higher rental rate because of how close they were to those locations. I will tell you, in our midterm rental strategy, so remember the 2 doors. One of our doors is the short-term rental door. The second door is the midterm rental door. So with our midterm rental strategy, that second door, I will tell you that our goal is to be as close to the great schools. We want to be as close to the great schools as possible. Okay, so depending on our budget, right? Your budget is the source of truth. Your budget, is what sometimes doesn't want us to be great, right? It's like, oh, I want to buy all these things, but then your budget, right? You have a purchasing power, you have a budget, you want to be mindful of that. So depending on your budget, you may have only a certain amount that you can allocate to purchase a property. So your purchasing power. So in those situations, I love to purchase properties that are just maybe outside of that top tier school district, maybe just the neighboring school district, right? Because I'm still going to have the ability to leverage the fact that those top tier school districts are nearby and attract that avatar based on how I'm leveraging PAC-Q, okay? So the key lesson here is you want to attract the top paying individuals. Let's just put it that way, right? You want to attract and you want to be able to justify why you're charging premium rate in order to make that happen, guys. It's all about how close you are to what it is that they're looking for in that particular market. Okay, so I'm going to write in proximity. So that's our first one. Proximity, locked and loaded. Let me know that you're picking up what I'm putting down. Hello, friends. Thank you for the waves. Thank you, family. So proximity, again, proximity is the key. Proximity is how I'm able to justify those premium rates, okay? We're able to justify our premium rates by how close we're looking to position our properties, how close we are to the stuff, how close we are to the draw that's in that particular market, okay? All right, next up, A is for amenities. Amenities, my friend. So let's get into amenities. I think when I say luxury short and luxury midterm rentals, a lot of folks get intimidated. And I want you to take a step back. This is not this is not a trick or a treat. It's a treat. It's not a trick. It's a treat. I want you to take a step back and think about it this way. When it comes to amenities, we set up our properties with amenities that do not necessarily have to break the bank, okay? Everyone's thinking swimming pools, what is it called, pickleball courts. Yes, that's amazing too, right? But we can set up amenities that don't necessarily have to break the bank. Okay, so a small gym, say a set of weights and a treadmill, is considered an amenity. One of the top amenities in our community of midterm rental guests, again, families who are displaced from their home due to disaster, we rent our homes to them, and their homeowners insurance pays us a premium month after month after month. I'm talking about 3 to 15 times what our monthly mortgage is what we're getting paid, right? And the reason is because there's one particular amenity that no one wants to offer that everyone is looking for, like light bulb moment, right? No one wants to offer this, but everyone's looking for this particular amenity. And since it's all family here, I'm going to spill the tea and tell you exactly what amenity that is. I'm not talking about gyms. Well, a little bit you can throw in gym, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about pools. I'm not talking about barrel saunas. I'm not talking about any of those extra fancy. You don't have to put a Peloton. This is not what we're talking about. Okay, so these aren't $1 million amenities. I'm not talking about adding a butler to a property. No. I'm talking about something that you can turn on like this, and it wouldn't cost you much to manage, and that is ding, 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 ding. Pet friendly stays. Pet friendly stays. Pet friendly stays are one of the most sought after amenities that most hosts are not willing to accommodate. And it's easy. Guys, when it comes to real estate investing, let it be easy. So we're always looking for properties with hard floors, like wood or tile, or we recognize that we got to add it into our budget to make that happen. Hey, STRBnB guy. Hey, friend. How are you? So yes, we're always looking for hard floors. We're looking for ways to host so that we can accommodate their furry friends. So for those of you who have pets, and even those of you who don't have pets, imagine those furry creatures are considered a member of the family, right? So what can we do to accommodate that precious family member? Because they're not going to place them in a kennel for the next 3 months or 6 months while their home is being repaired. That's what's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So this is an easy thing that you can turn on. When I first started out with my very first investment, it was my one door, my one precious door, guys, my one precious door. There's no way on this green earth that I was going to allow pets into my precious one door, my first property. But I started to get the question over and over again. Hey, can Fufu come? Can Pookie come? And it's their little pet. This is their little loved one. This is their baby. This is like a child to them. And so I started to do some research. After the eighth guest asks you the same question, you start to recognize, hey, there's a demand for this in my market. I did my research. I called up the kennel to board two dogs. It was like $1,000 a month, y'all. So I'm like, oh my gosh, how much money must I be leaving on the table by not accepting their furry friends, guys? So keep that in mind. Keep that change everything for me. That flipped the switch for me. So now we're able to charge a premium and still be more cost effective than them boarding a dog. We're top tier in our market because most people in our market are not willing to offer pet friendly stays. So you really put yourself in a great position when you're offering amenities like that don't have to break the bank, but is responding to a demand that is in your particular market. Okay. So Andreen in our community, Andreen is a retired fire chief, believe it or not, New York fire chief. She's amazing, amazing professional. She started to have issues with bookings in the Davenport, Orlando market. And so after doing a number of analyses and troubleshooting with her, I said, Andreen, I know you don't want to hear this, but it's time to explore pet friendly stays. And as soon as she turned it off, let me tell you, like that, she stopped having problems with occupancy. Her spaces got full due to the fact that she was willing to offer pet friendly stays. So I work with a number of experts in the insurance space, and they shared with me that 72% of their families who are displaced from their homes are looking for pet friendly stays. However, only 30% of hosts, like homeowners like me, investors like me, only 30% of us are willing to offer a pet friendly stay. So already you're positioning yourself as a top tier person in the market by providing that pet friendly stay. Okay. So that's high level amenities. I want to dive into a few other more common amenities. Right now, we all know that a lot of people work from home or remotely. So high speed internet is hands down a very important, I don't know if we can call it amenity anymore. It's like it's no longer a, what's the word, like when you're comparing, I don't know, it's no longer a rare thing to have high speed internet. It's like the rule to have high speed internet. Okay, so when it comes to amenities, we're talking pools. If you have that, that's great. If we're looking for properties in certain markets, having a pool is a great feature. A heated pool is a great feature. If you can add certain amenities to your property, that's great. I actually, if I were to break down amenities, I would break down into two sections, right? So there are inherent, if I could spell, inherent amenities, and there are man-made amenities. Okay, inherent and man-made. So it's important if you're looking to purchase a property. And for those of you who are new, sometimes I don't know if you've already purchased your own home or if you haven't yet. If you have not yet purchased your own home, that's completely okay. However, if you have that, I guess, that design eye, that taste where you walk into a property and you say, ooh, I see a vision for this property. Well, when it comes to inherent amenities, I'm always looking for properties that have certain features that no one can manufacture, right? So, in our mountain markets, if we are looking for a property with a mountain view, like the tippy top of the mountain, that tippy top, oh my gosh, if you can see that panoramically in the property, it is a game changer. So our properties that have that tippy top view generate 30% more than our properties that do not in that mountain region. Okay, so the quality of the views are one thing. However, the quality of the view is a whole other situation. Okay, so when it comes to amenities, I'm looking at two things. I'm looking at the presence of that amenity, and then I'm looking at the quality of that amenity. Those are two things that I grade to see how valuable I perceive that property to be. Okay. So inherent amenities are things like you couldn't manufacture, you couldn't make up a mountain view. So that would fall under the inherent amenities. And then the man-made amenities, if you're looking for like a little fenced in yard for a pet friendly stay, well, that would be a man-made amenity. Those are things that if we're looking to purchase our first property, we're like, oh, I really want a fenced in property, but you don't find one, you can actually manufacture that, right? That's a man-made thing. That's something you can create. Inherent amenities, maybe a beachfront or a beach, a view of the water, right? That's again, that's going to be inherent. Man-made amenity may be a modern kitchen, right? If you're going to put some work into a kitchen, that's going to be a brand new, fully equipped man-made kitchen. Well, that is going to be an amenity that is more man-made. So you have both. You want to make sure that as you're looking to invest in a property, you're seeing, well, how can I push the envelope or move the needle the most on all of the inherent things? Because the man-made things I can take care of all of that in the near future. It all takes a budget, right? So it depends on what your budget is. And so we're always adding a little bit of value to our properties. Most of our properties need a little TLC, need a little bit of love, but that is completely okay. All right. So hopefully you guys are picking up what I am putting down when it comes to amenities. I believe I've given you a whole lot of case studies when it comes to amenities. So we've covered proximity. We've covered amenities. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Continue to drop your questions. Say hello. Let me know where you're zooming in from as I continue down to our next section when it comes to, okay, I'm just looking for questions. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, there we go. Comps, competitive edge. Let's talk about comps. C is for comps or competitive edge. All right. So let's talk about it, my friends. Okay. So when we are looking at our property and we're looking to determine, well, will the property that we're looking at demand or have the ability to demand that 80 to 100K that this property that's already listed, that has a track record, that's tried and true, that's what they're demanding? Or is our property hedging towards the $40,000 range, right? So that's going to be very much a huge difference. And it's going to impact how you invest at the end of the day to make sure that you are not overpaying, right? We need to understand what your competitive edge is in that marketplace, okay? So in order to leverage that, we look at things like airdna.co. We did a great training in part 1 as to what the steps are to use airdna.co. In order to understand the pricing of that property, we're looking at a number of attributes, whether it's the size of the property. For the competitive edge, we're looking at the square footage. We're looking at additional living spaces, like what makes it competitive. Amenities can fall under that as well. For instance, if it's a property that has a canal, is there a dock, right? Is there direct access to that canal? That's going to be a competitive edge for that particular property. And is it something that you can manufacture on your property or something that's reasonable enough to manufacture on your property? Okay, so that is how we know the expectations that we have for the revenue that we're going to be generating, right? We want to make sure that we're pricing and positioning the property that we're looking at in an honest and I would say honest and unbiased way. We want to be as objective as possible. Okay, so what is it that $100,000 property has compared to what the property, the subject property that you're looking to purchase has to offer, and compare the two. Compare the two in a very subjective, actually objective is the word. We want to compare the two in a very objective way that has no bias, and we're looking at the presence of those attributes and then the quality of those attributes as well. Okay, so Dr. Patel, she was looking at a loft property in a downtown area in the Baltimore market, and so she's looking to house business travelers. That is her avatar. And so before purchasing the property, we ran a detailed comparison with her property against the properties on AirDNA. And so we started to analyze those local short-term rental properties and we noticed that some of those similar properties to hers were charging $200 a night, right? But they were in different facilities, so they were lacking certain amenities like a fitness center. They were lacking a dedicated workspace, and so she decided, you know what, the property that she's looking at, she wanted to make sure it had a private office nook, because again, she's attracting business travelers. She wanted to make sure, again, high speed internet. She wanted to make sure that the property had a nearby gym or a gym inside of the facility. And so when she created essentially that a buy box of the things she wanted in the property, she was able to demand closer to $250 a night to fill in that demand for that market. And so her property was much more attractive because she added those attributes to her property. And so she was able to drive a higher average rental price compared to her market. So it's really important, guys. For me, I focus on larger homes. And let me finish my initial thought. It's just really important. It's really important to compare your property to the properties that have a track record, that are already tried and true, to assess, well, how much can I truly make for my property? And what are the 2 or 3 levers that I could pull, that I can change to offer more, and therefore I can charge a little bit more, right? So that all comes with carefully studying your comps and to find out the specifics of those comps and see what's missing and see what can be added to attract who it is that you're looking to attract. The different individuals, we call them ideal guest avatars. So who it is that you're serving, the different individuals will have different amenities that they would appreciate. Okay. So in order to enable your property to completely stand out from the crowd and just to level up in this very competitive market, is through understanding and comparing. So for my properties, I love to host multi-generational multi-families traveling with children and pets. So let's say me, my husband, his adult siblings and their spouses and their kids and the grandparents. So if these are the individuals that I'm looking to host, well, I have to think of specific amenities that help them to feel connected when they're within the property. And I want all of the party to feel connected at certain points. I want all of the party to feel like, okay, if they need a little bit of time to decompress, they have that breathing room as well. And the way we accomplish that is we're always looking for properties with that second living room in our market. So that second living room is where you can shove all the kiddos and create like a gaming area, or if there's a garage that we could turn around into a gaming area and repurpose it that way. That is the vibe. Okay. All right. So competitive edge is complete. So I'll just write in competitive edge. We're good to go, my friends. All right, last but not least, quality. So that's the last part of our PAC-Q framework. So finally, let's talk quality. And quality is really assessing the condition of the property to make sure it is worth your investment. And when I'm talking about quality, I'm talking about some of the finishes of the property. So one of our team members the other day was looking at a property that looked as though it had been through a lot. They had done some renovating and it looked like it was kind of thrown together. There was no like window frame or molding compared to the rest of the market. So if you are looking to make the best investing decision, you want to compare the top tier properties. Why not compare the top 1%, the top 5% of properties, right, with your subject property and see what that looks like from a quality perspective. Okay, so I'm looking at the property. Is it in good condition? Have there been upgrades? Have there been new renovations that were made? So the property could be a little bit older, but if it's fully renovated, well, that's a bonus. If the property is new constructed, oh my gosh, there are some markets, new is better than better. That new construction is definitely the most in demand. Has the carpet is the same old green carpet, or has the property been updated with um, LVP, luxury vinyl plank, or something like that? That's the fake hardwood floors, right? So those are some of the things that you want to look at to ensure that the property is close to move-in ready. I'm not down for a major renovation project for our busy doctor members of the community, because you end up busting your budget wide open. If you're doing fix and flips, it's just not a good idea for our community, because the tax implications are not ideal at all, right? That's just more active income. Short-term rentals is ideal. So, yeah, so we want to look at the attention to the quality of the properties, the quality of the listings, how high quality are the photos, and how high quality is the design. So that's very important. And that's what's going to attract guests to want to stay there and stay there for longer, multiple weeks and months, especially if you are looking to host those families who are wanting to stay 3 months or 6 months while their home is being repaired. Okay, so really, really important to look at the quality. What's your quality compared to that property that is tried and true? And I like to compare my one property with 4 or 5 other properties to get a good idea. I will average those out, those that are as close as possible to my property, to really get a good idea of what my property can generate. Okay, so when it comes to the PAC-Q method as a whole, the way that I put this into practice, and I'm gonna quality. There we go. I can spell quality. Boom. I get like performance anxiety. Like, I know how to spell, but then now that I feel like everyone's watching me, I feel like I don't know how to spell. All right. So with that being said, my friends, so when it comes to the PAC-Q methodology, what I typically would leverage is I will have my one subject properties, and then I will have 5 properties that are as similar as possible to my property. And I would just start making some notes. I would identify, if my property is better here, if their property is better there, if my property is better here, if their property is better there, so no 2 properties will be identical unless it's a duplex, right? That was built as identical as possible. There's going to be some give and take. So based on that, I want to find the properties that are as close as possible to the way my property is set up as is, or what I envision it will be in the next 30 to 60 days once I've purchased it. And I take the average of the revenue of those 5 properties to paint the picture for me as far as what I believe my property can generate month after month, year after year. Okay, so it's the long game. However, this first step is crucial. It is so powerful in making sure that you're investing in the highest quality properties that you possibly can for your particular budget. Okay, so by doing so, you're going to improve your guest experience in the marketplace, which is going to lead to folks booking your property, staying at your property for a longer period of time, coming back to rebook your property, and just overall building your business on a strong foundation, because you're going to solve the age-old problem for real estate investors, and that is occupancy, making sure that our property is full with the right types of guests. Okay. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining us today. That wraps up our PAC-Q training. Here's what I want to leave you with. Taking action is everything when it comes to real estate. It's what takes you from theory, consuming information. A lot of you are consuming a lot of information. It what takes you from that into actually making the moves and turning your real estate dreams into reality, right? So I want to drag you in 2024, in the Lord's year of 2024. I want to drag you out of the analysis paralysis. I want to drag you out of the theory and pull you into reality. It's a reality check. It's time to wake up, my friends. And so that is why I want to share with you my PAC-Q list. Yes, there are checklists associated, but here's the deal. It's not just a checklist. It is a foundation that I use for building momentum, for finding clarity when it comes to investing in real estate and getting the best possible return on every single property that you choose. So doing this up front has made a massive difference in my success, as well as the success of the 2,400 members inside of our community. And it's a system that keeps working for me time and time again. And so if you, my dear friends, are ready to take action and see where I'm putting this framework to work, check out 75gems.com. That's 75gems.com. That's a free resource to you. It's free this year. It may not be free next year. I will tell you this. It's where I put together my top cities with the highest profitability for short and midterm rentals. These are the places that we and our community are building and investing in right now. And so feel free to grab that 75gems.com. That's 75gems.com. It's yours for free. I truly believe the only way to build momentum is to take that first step, my friends. It's time to build. So let's make it happen. Love you all to the moon. Bye-bye for now.